It is 6:30. No, that's a lie. It is 10 to 7 on a Monday morning. It's early, guys. I would never normally start a YouTube video at this time in the morning. So why am I, you ask? I am trying to get into a writing routine, into a better writing routine. If this is the first video of mine, my name is Charlotte. I am a traditionally published author of women's history, but at the moment I am trying to write my first novel. I have finished the first draft. I'm editing the first draft at the moment, and I've been stumbling a lot this year. So in an attempt to try and actually finish said novel so that I can get it out to beta readers, so that I can start looking towards actually sending it out to agents to try and get it represented, I'm trying to get into a writing routine. So what I thought I would do is bring you along for the ride, basically. I work full-time around writing, so I have a 9-to-5 job. I thought this might be interesting to see how somebody else is figuring out their routine alongside work. So this week I am trying getting up earlier every morning and doing an hour of writing or editing before I start work. So I should be having a cup of coffee right now. The kettle should be boiling, but it appears not to be boiling. Unplugged, switched off at the wall. Right, Tom's just gone to work. I still don't have a way to prove to you what time it is because I film on my phone. It's now 7:15, so I'll do 7:15 till 8:15. I flex time with work. I can start whenever I want. I like to get started nice and early. I also work from home. I work fully remotely, so that's quite nice. Oh, there you go. You can see 7:15. Sorry, I just changed angle slightly because all of my confidential shit was popping up on my computer. Yeah, I've really been struggling with self-doubt and with imposter syndrome. And I think what happened was I read through the novel for the first time. And whilst there was a lot of stuff that I was really happy with, there was also a lot of stuff that I wasn't very happy with, but I didn't really know, A, how to solve the problem, and B, because I'm me, I took that to be, this book is terrible, I don't know why you're bothering to write it, there are so many other better writers out there that are doing a better job than you, this book will never get published. And I got into my own head. The important point is that I need to get over myself. I need to stop worrying about imposter syndrome, and I just need to write the book. At the end of the day, I write because it is a compulsion, and I've said that for many years. I write because I can't not write. And even when I'm not writing, I'm thinking about stories, I'm thinking about aspects of my book, I'm thinking about new story ideas. I've got about 20 book ideas of things that I want to write, and I've got 2 really, really big book ideas that I am going to write after this. I just need to get done with this one. Just need to get finished and get it out there. And if nobody wants to publish it, then fine, I'll just write something new. You know, I need to get over myself. It looked like a fake yawn. It was not a fake yawn. Does anybody else feel the need to stretch after they've been writing? I don't know. Is it something about like when you're writing you become almost like in a trance-like state, or I get like so into it, I focus so much, I don't think I really move that much. And so when I come out of it, it's kind of like, I guess it's like when you read a book and you come out of a book and it's like trying to connect back to reality. And I think that's been good. I think it's been nice to kind of familiarise myself with my story again, which is what I wanted to do, and to get some of the things that had been rolling around in my brain out of my brain and into a list. So I think I'll leave it here for today. This is going to be, like I say, a collage of 5 days of me. Have I even said that? Have I said that? Just in case I haven't actually said what the point of this video is, I'm going to spend a whole week getting up early and doing a week of early starts and doing an hour every morning before I start work. And then I'm also going to do another video where I look at doing an hour every evening, and then we'll compare the two. I'm going to leave this here now and I'll come back to you tomorrow morning. Good morning. You're in my cupboard. Don't know why you needed to know that information, but I just thought I'd share it with you. It's Tuesday morning. Not gonna lie, it was hard to get up this morning. Mondays just wipe me out, what can I say? I find them very tiring, generally. And then I started my writing course last night as well. So I did the same writing course as I did last year. It is with the Bronte Creative Writing Centre, and I really enjoyed it. So I did that last night, 7 till 9. Then I went to bed, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, I started feeling really queasy and sick. So I was up a lot later than I would normally be, knowing that I've got to get up early this morning. So yeah, we'd be struggling a little bit this morning, but it's fine, it's fine. It is currently, it's like 7:05, so I think this is going to be another 7:15 till 8:15 job, or even 7:30 till 8:30 this morning. I need to do some research, and I think that's what I'm probably going to do today, is do some research into a couple of lighthouse history bits and pieces that I really want to get together to be able to give my book some authenticity. So I might do one more chapter of edits, and then I might do a bit of research. So that's what I'll do. Right, Stanley's now sitting like a very good boy, although he's not being quiet about it. It's 8 o'clock already. Ignore the hole in my wall. This will be fixed as part of my office renovation coming up soon. Tom ended up going to work a little bit later today. Then the cat threw up everywhere. Fun times. So I had to clean that. And then I've been updating my computer. So life happened. So it's now 8 o'clock. I can start at 9 o'clock. That's not a problem. So I'm going to get into it now. I'm going to do my hour now. And then I'm going to start work at 9. The lighting is not good for me this morning. I look really tired on camera, but never mind. It's 8:25, so I've done 25 minutes. I've done chapter 2. I feel like chapter 1, like the early chapters, I said this yesterday, are pretty good. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about them. They're pretty well written now, as well as I can write them for now. They may change in order at some point, but I'm feeling pretty good about them. So I have decided that I am just going to work through from the beginning, because I think it'll really help me to kind of feel like I'm following the story along and change things as I go. So I've done chapter 2. I've reviewed chapter 2. I've edited it. Didn't really need much, like I say, but there's a couple of things that I want to do now. One is that I want to do a bit of research on lighthouse interiors. So Laura, my main character, has come to a lighthouse. It's a museum, but she's also doing a residential kind of program there, and so I want to just have a look at some lighthouse museum interiors and some original lighthouse interiors, like what would it have looked like in the 1700s, in the 1800s, in the 1900s. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do for the next 35 minutes, and then I'll jump back in again. It's 9 o'clock. In fact, it's technically 9:02, so I really need to start work. But yeah, had a very good morning. Post-writing stretch again. Now I better get to work, so I will see you again tomorrow morning. See how we get on. Good morning. I look very thumb-like today. Do I look like a thumb? I feel like this is me. Because my hair, it's not particularly dirty, but it's just, it's behaving today, and it's actually going into a nice ponytail, which, if you know anything about filming, ponytails never translate well onto camera, which is why I'm always very, very envious of people like Jennifer Lopez, who managed to get a beautiful ponytail and not look like a thumb. Anyway, you're not here for thumb chats, are you? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning. It is 7:45 at the moment, and I am up. Tom's up. I I think, although there's no sounds coming from upstairs, so he might still be in bed. But he's got a slightly later morning this morning, so that's fine. I've been having a coffee and just kind of catching up on a couple of emails and stuff. And then I'm going to go and sit at my desk. I am going to the gym tonight, which usually means that we kind of work through a little bit and work later, because it's just easier to like work late and then go straight to the gym than work, finish working and chill, and then get the motivation to get up and leave the house. So it doesn't matter that it's a little bit later today. I can still get my hour of writing in before I start working. I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did yesterday. I'm going to do a chapter, edit that chapter, and then I'm going to do probably the second half of the hour is going to be looking at lighthouse research. I didn't really get that far with half an hour yesterday, actually. I managed to look at a couple of little things, make a couple of notes, but I didn't really get a massive amount of like research done, so I definitely want to do more of that today. So let's get going. I don't want to do too much chatting in this until the end, and then I kind of want to review how the week's gone, so I'm trying to be succinct. Good morning. Please excuse the sound of the dryer in the background. Drying my clothes, what can I say? It is about 7:25. Tom has just gone to work. He set off early this morning. He got to stand in puss by the back door, surveying his kingdom as he does. And yeah, I can get started a little bit earlier today because Tom was up and off earlier. But the kitchen is a little bit of a disaster, let me show you. Look at that. I say a little bit of a disaster. I am aware that for some people this won't be any level of mess, and for other people it will be absolutely disgusting. Your own home and your own mess is subjective, isn't it? This for us is pretty messy, so I want to do that first. My mum's coming around for lunch today, so I want to be able to have the kitchen looking all nice and neat before she comes. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to save you. I'm not going to film it, the whole thing, but what I will do is one of those cool transitions. So this is what it looks like now. There we go, all done. Is it perfect? No. Does it look a hell of a lot better? Yes. So there we go, a nice, tidier kitchen to start the day. And I've just checked on the clock, which is on my thermostat, which says that it is just about 7:30. There we go, 7:31. So let's go up to my computer and do my writing for the day. Oh gosh, please excuse this. All of these horrible marks on our wall. It is getting redecorated incredibly soon, so please ignore. That was actually a really good writing session. I've done chapter 4. I've reviewed that. I've done a few edits. There wasn't quite as much to edit on this one, to be honest. I was just finding the kind of rhythm of the storyline. There were a few words here and there that I wanted to change, and a couple of little bits that I cut out. I've just axed like a whole character. She was a very, very peripheral character. She was a friend of the main protagonist, and it was kind of used, that character was used as like a flashback. I'm not really sure I want to have any like proper flashback scenes in this. I don't think they necessarily always work. I'm going to get my main character to kind of reveal the information that would have been in the flashback in conversations that she has with people within the storyline itself. I am really enjoying going through it from the beginning, like going through chapter by chapter. I think there's two things for that. Firstly, it allows me to read the book as a reader would, but the second thing is that I need to make sure that I'm doing this, if not every single day, including weekends, every single weekday, and I really need to keep up the momentum, because I think when you read a book as a reader, unless you have things in life that get in the way, which I do understand. Most people will read a book from beginning to end in a relatively short space of time. So I want to kind of read it like that as a reader, so that I can put myself in the shoes of a reader and see it as they would. So that's a really good thing. But also I think it's just helping me to get a little bit focused in my mind about what needs to be done. It would be so hard, I feel, to sit here and just be like, right, let's pick a random chapter and sort it out. I don't feel like that would work. So I'm really feeling happy with how I'm going this week. So I've got 35 minutes left. And as that's only taken 20 minutes, I might go on to the next chapter, because I'm actually really enjoying reviewing my text today. I know I was only doing one chapter a day, but I think as that's only taken me 20 minutes, I can probably do another kind of 10-15 minutes on the next chapter, maybe even up to 20 minutes, to be honest. And then I can always do the final 20 minutes on a bit of research. Right, I've done. I always think I look like Princess Leia in these headphones. That's probably being hugely flattering to myself. I finished chapter 5, so I've done another chapter. There's 15, 16, 17 minutes left. So I'm going to do some more research through that time. I'm going to watch. I found a couple of documentaries yesterday that are quite good about like how lighthouses were built and this, that and the other. So I think I'm going to watch 15 minutes of one of those now. Right, it's 6:30. No, it's not. It's 8:30. It's 8:30. The sun is fully up, as you can see, and my timer's just gone off. So we've done the full hour. So I'm going to make a coffee, go to the loo, and then start my working day. And yeah, get to work. So I'll leave this here for today, and we'll yet again pick up tomorrow morning. Sorry, I wasn't feeling particularly talkative this morning when I came downstairs. It's Friday, so I'm tired. So I just kind of cracked on, got logged in, and have been working on chapter 6. Now, chapter 6 is too long. Basically, all of my other chapters have been about 1,000 words. This chapter is 5,500 words. There's not really any need for it to be that long, and I've spotted a couple of points along the way where I could easily separate out the chapters. But to be quite frank, I haven't got time today to be separating out the chapters, because the way that it works on Scrivener, I've got all my chapters down one side and I'd have to create extra documents and then copy and paste. I haven't really got time for that today, so I've just been working through the document. Now, unfortunately, in an hour, I haven't been able to edit a single chapter in an hour because it's that long. So that tells you everything you need to know. You don't want to spend a whole hour reading a single chapter of a book, do you? You don't. So I need to separate that out, but I've just highlighted, you probably can't see from this distance, but I've just highlighted in bold where I've got up to, because I've done my hour. I need to start working 15 minutes. Yeah, that's what I've done. I've highlighted it in bold, and I'll come back to it maybe tomorrow or over the weekend or something. But yeah, that's what I've done this morning. Just literally editing. I haven't even managed to get. I started watching yesterday a documentary on Channel 5 called Great Lighthouses Then and Now, and I watched about 20 minutes of that yesterday, and I was planning to watch some more of it today, but haven't had time because I've just been word editing. So I'll leave that for later and continue watching that another day. So yeah, I'll leave that here now. I will come back at some point, maybe over the weekend or later today, to talk about like how I feel the whole process this week of getting up and doing an hour before work has worked or not. Right, it's Sunday afternoon. It's a little bit of a gloomy Sunday afternoon, so the lighting's not particularly bright. But I wanted to reflect on the week and what I've done. So it's not going to be a very long reflection, but I just wanted to kind of wrap this video up really, because it's been very much an experiment this week. I did write for an hour every single day, Monday to Friday. So I'm really proud that actually I managed to do it every single day. And it didn't feel like too much of a challenge, to be honest. It didn't feel like I was struggling to find the time to fit it in. I think because when I was freelancing, I would sit down at my desk, and as soon as I sat down at my desk, I would start working, because like I would just try and get ahead and try and like start as early as possible. And what that ended up meaning was that I was working kind of 10-12 hour days. Whereas now when I've got set hours to work throughout the day, I'm not starting work until 8 or 9 o'clock, which means, you know, if Tom goes to the train at 7:15, then I've got an hour before I start work. So it didn't feel like too much of a challenge. I can imagine that sometimes on a week where there are different priorities, it might not be the easiest thing to fit in before work. But I'm actually really interested to see how I'm going to get on this next week, because this next week I'm going to be testing out doing an hour in the evenings. And I feel like that's going to be the much trickier one to manage, because I finish at slightly different times. Tom finishes at different times at work. We go to the gym in an evening. There's just a lot more. Obviously, you've got dinner and that kind of stuff. There's just a lot more like moving parts on an evening. So, but that's the whole point of this experiment, right? It's to find out what is the best writing time for me so that I can make it sustainable long term. In terms of like, you know, getting into it and getting set up at my desk, I didn't feel like that was particularly difficult for me, because I already am up relatively early anyway. So I didn't actually find it too much of a challenge in terms of tapping into my creativity. I think because I'm on the edit stage, I'm not in the writing stage, I don't really need to be like in a super creative space, because I'm reading, and the act of reading anyway makes me feel creative and makes me want to edit. Where when I'm writing and creating, I've kind of got to feel really inspired, because you're making up stuff, aren't you? You're making up worlds, you're making up characters and scenarios. This doesn't feel that way, so it was a little bit easier for me to get into. And I think doing it the way I did, where I would do a chapter a day and then either do some research or do something else in the other half of the hour, worked really well as well. It feels like both areas of that editing work are moving forward at the same time. The only thing I know that I definitely need to do is keep up momentum, because I feel like already it's Sunday, the last editing I did was on Friday. I already feel like I'm slightly losing where we were in the storyline when I finished on Friday. So I think whatever comes of this routine, I feel like I may need to try and at least do it one weekend day, if not both. You know, if I can do both, great. If it's a week and I can't, then at least one day will just help me keep that momentum. Hope you like this video. Let me know what you're writing at the moment. Did you find this useful? Is it something that you might try and implement in your own writing routine? Or if you've already got a really good writing routine down, let me know. The other thing I would like to do at some point is test out some famous writers' writing routines. I think that would be a really fun thing to do. So let me know if there's any particular writer's routine that you know of. Right, I'm going to go, and I will see you in my next one. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. Bye.